weird. I like that though.
Yeah.
It's good. Interesting guy.
There he is again. There he is. What the heck? There he is again. This is ridiculous. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Adam the Hip Nerd, and in today's video, I'll show you how I made this puzzle mandala wall hanging. I wanted to see if I could make mandala art using digital tools, specifically Inkscape. So I found a few YouTube tutorials and played around until I made one that I liked. Then I started to think about how I could turn this into a CNC project and came up with the idea of breaking the design apart into the individual shapes, cutting those out on the CNC, and assembling them like a puzzle. I didn't want it to just be flat, I wanted it to have some extra dimensionality, so I decided that the shapes would increase in height from the outside to the inside. I figured that the best way to do this would be to use plywood and stack it up in layers, starting with one layer on the outside and adding layers as the pattern progressed to the inside. After importing a shape from Inkscape to Fusion 360, I arrayed the pieces out to be cut on the CNC. Rather than cutting the individual shapes and then gluing them up in stacks, I decided to glue up blocks of plywood and cut the shapes out at their finished heights. So using the size of the array, I laid out the layers to be cut and then glued up into blocks. Then I could stain the blocks, cut the shapes, and assemble. Was this the best method? Hard to say. It added some complexity, but probably saved some time and some very repetitious work in gluing up and staining. So there's a lot of glue squeeze out on these. I wanted to be sure that every square inch was glued. So I need a clean edge that's square to one side for the CNC step that's to come. So I'm going to clean these up on the table saw. So this is about the halfway point in this project. There were a few issues. One was a bad file where I think I didn't set the 0 point correctly. That turned out not to be a big deal. I recovered from that pretty easily. The other was on this piece. I didn't have a piece that was oriented correctly, so you can see on this piece the grain's going like this. I need at least one piece on the top where the grain goes the long way, so I had to cut a makeup piece for that. Also not too big of a deal, I got that done. Then in the glue up, a few things. This piece in particular came out bowed, so you can see how that rocks right there. Hopefully that won't be an issue down the road. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, when it comes time to CNC that. The next step is to stain, and I'm going to put a light coat of clear poly over the stain to protect it during the rest of the manufacture process. Once all the pieces are done, hopefully they'll need a minimum of processing, and then assembly and glue up. Hopefully it all goes smoothly from there. Oh, I do have the backing, and there's a border piece that need to be CNC'd. I've got the materials for that. They're ready to be cut when the time comes. And that's it. Here we go. Alright, time to cut the first shape out. Dang, something's wrong. The machine is trying to cut outside the workpiece. Maybe something went wrong when setting the origin. Nope. Maybe recopy the file. Nope. Okay, so I got a problem. This piece is supposed to be 400 millimeters in the Y direction, and it's 325. So I guess I gotta remeasure all the pieces that I've already cut and compare them against what's on the computer and see if it's just this one piece or multiple pieces and where things went wrong. Alright. So I don't know how or why this went wrong, but piece number 1 is too small in the Y direction. So I made a new file to cut that. You can see that the workpiece is moving around a little bit, so I'm steadying it with my hands. From here on out, the CNC operation is going to get a little trickier. The thickness of these pieces goes beyond what I can do with the length of cut with the bits that I currently have. So the first step is to drill a reference hole. I drill through on the drill press so it's nice and straight. I align the 0 point with that hole. Then when it comes time to cut the other side, I flip it over. That hole will be here, and then I'll zero out the origin with the hole, and it will finish the cut from the other side. So that's what I gotta do, and you gotta do what you gotta do. This is the bowed piece, and it turned out not to be an issue.
He has to put on the first television. So he's doing all this in-town stuff, right? He's like getting corporations.
Okay, that was really annoying, but we're back in business. Got my bit back in. Well, got a new bit in. The old bit is trash. And this time, I will remember to turn on the router. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I'd have to go back and look at the video. I didn't take the time to do that right now because I just want to get it resolved and get on with it, you know? Just get on with it. I guess I have to re-zero it. Yeah, it'd probably be best to start from scratch just to be sure. What the fuck? Oh. Re-zeroing was absolutely necessary, but even more than that, I should have rehomed the machine.
So all at once it was daylight. Going drifting right. I looked up to see what happened. When I looked and seen it, it just faded out.
I finally got wise and started making multiple depth cuts. This puts a lot less stress on the bit and leads to cleaner cuts on these thicker pieces.
Right up the hill. And I looked up to see what happened, and there was a light about that big. When I looked and seen it, all at once it was daylight. I looked up to see what happened. There was a light about that big going drifting right up. when I looked and seen it, so, and there was a light about that.
The issue I'm having is that some of these are not lining up completely. When I flip it over and I cut from the bottom, that bottom cut is not aligned with the top. And some of them are fine, like this piece is pretty darn close, not a problem, but some of these others are pretty far off, and they're going to require some post-processing. I'm not sure what's causing it, but I think it's because it's not completely square, so when I flip it over, it's off. It's closer in the corner, like in the bottom right corner, and then gets more off as it goes. I'm going to attach this to the drill press and get the edges with this. I believe this is 80 grit sandpaper.
It's got enough speed as it comes over here to carry it over onto the next space and then onto the next.
Time to cut the bottom and border pieces. So I don't know why, but every other thing that I've made in this project, I've set the origin to be the lower left corner of the workpiece, but for some reason the base and the outline piece, I made that the center. I don't know why. Unfortunately, that last sheet of plywood was pretty warped, so I decided to go back and use the previous sheet with the bad cut in it, which was flatter. The cut will not be visible and won't cause any problems. Time for a dry fit. The next step is the final glue up. I'm going to be using a little bit of water to extend the setup time on the glue, so I have plenty of time to get the pieces arranged. I'm a little nervous about it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Can I do this at all? No. These are obviously not going to fit. I'm going to have to sand these down to fit. Alright, I continue. That's too bad. I thought I was going to actually finish this right now, but I got to reshape these pieces too, I guess. Okay, well, this is not going according to plan at all. Well, maybe not. It's somewhat according to plan. There are errors that are accumulating as I work my way towards the center, and these last remaining two pieces don't fit. So I'm going to manually shave these down using the drill press and my little drum sanding thing, and then just manually fit them to the piece. I'm not sure what else to do except start over. That's the way it goes. Thought I had it, but I don't. I don't know. When I did the dry fit, I got everything in there, but I think there was, when I was doing the dry fit, there was no glue, so in spite of using water to thin out the glue, it was still setting up, and now everything's actually glued down there tight, so I can't do any adjustment now. And I think that's why I was able to do the dry fit, but I can't glue it up. Well, that's the way it goes, I guess. So I'm going to shave these down, because you got to do what you got to do.
We're on the parking lot of life. A circular circus. No escape. We're on the parking lot of life. A circular circus. No escape. We're on the parking lot of life. A circular circus. No escape.
I had to repair the veneer where it got torn away on these smaller pieces, and also some of the pieces that were already glued down. I wish I had had a better choice of 5mm plywood at Home
No
Depot.
escape.
The veneer on this stuff was really thin and tore away easily.
We're on the parking lot of life. A circular circus.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and remember, you gotta do what you gotta do.